Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Wisconsin Hugs. My name is Tony Grillo, and I've been going through some of my old posts. I was trying to find pictures of all the times I went to see the Vikings play the Packers, and I found this little gem that I wrote about. I just want to maybe start out my video with this little story. Enjoying a little Vikings season 4 this weekend. The boys asked their father, why do we do this? Their group of ships got separated in a storm. So they are tying a native Frenchman to some boards and send him floating off to the sea. The father replies, so the last ships know we are ahead of them. LOL. Heck of a creative way to send a message in a time where no cell phones existed. Have a great Sunday, peeps. Yeah, and this is what they're doing. They captured a Frenchman, and they're tying him up, and the two boys are sitting there going, and then there he is floating in the sea. He's got this contraption around him, and he's floating there, and then here come the other ships. And when they see him, they know, okay, that's where our leader is. He's ahead of us. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, Green Bay and Minnesota have had a great rivalry. This was a playoff game. Favre was quarterback. And, of course, Randy Moss was on the field. This catch by Antonio Freeman in a Monday Night Football game thrown by Brett Favre. This was at the tail end of the game-winning catch.
Shows on the replay. It never hit the ground. It hit the back of Antonio Freeman. Wow. Right on the left arm, bring the ball up in the air, and he's 6 inches off the grass. Unbelievable awareness of where the ball is. We are reviewing on the field.
Once again, we are reviewing the play on the field.
Ball went through Dishman's hands. He got it. The ground. Wow.
They're trying to bring the teams back onto the field if they overturn it, but I haven't seen anything to overturn it yet.
No, it's just a great fluky play for the Pack.
Antac hasn't even gotten over to the...
and then there's no contact.
Dishman didn't even tidy up afterwards. He just assumed that it hit the ground.
Seconds left. Packers need a touchdown. They have no timeouts. Rodgers. Pressure coming. Hit as he throws. Is it a fumble or is it incomplete? Minnesota picks it up, and the Vikings look like they have it. A fumble. The hand has got to be the thing moving forward, not the arm. I don't see it. I think that's a fumble.
It kind of epitomizes how this game was today, right? DJ Wanham never gives up on that play. Minnesota never gave up today, and we came in with the matchup, and, how do you slow this offense down as well as they've played, as good as they've looked throughout the course of the season? How does a young secondary
Going through my old Facebook posts. This was back in 2017, December. And this was a gal that I was dating for about 3 months. But kind of funny story about this picture was a old girlfriend who was a Packers fan. Her name was Missy. And she had these tickets to the game, and it was freezing cold. It was the Packers versus the Vikings, and that was the year that Aaron Rodgers got hurt when Antonio Barr hit him, and he broke his shoulder, and so he was out for the whole season. The Packers were out of the playoffs, and the Vikings were going to win the division, and it basically was a game that meant nothing. And freezing cold. It was a night game. I think it might have been Monday night football, maybe Sunday night football. Because I think I had to work the next day. I can't remember, but I took this gal. I actually bought the tickets from an old girlfriend. She met somebody else and got married. But we remained friends, and she knew I was a Vikings fan, and she wanted to know if I wanted to buy her tickets. I'm like, sure, yeah, and then I was on online dating service, and this I happened to have been driving my truck in Illinois, and she saw my image pop up, and she sent me a message, and I said, well, I have tickets to this football game, and I don't have a date. And she's like, you're kidding me. And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, are you a Packers fan? I said, no, I'm actually a Vikings fan, but I live in Wisconsin, but I want to go see this game, And she's like, oh my God, she was a Bears fan. She lived in Illinois. And she's like, yeah, I've never been to a football game ever in my life. And we never met, but I said, well, how would you like to go to the game with me? And so we wound up going to the game together. She goes, yeah, as long as you're not a Packers fan, I'll go to the game. We'll both cheer for the Vikings, even though I'm a Bears fan. And so it was freezing cold that day, but man, we had a lot of fun. And these were some of the pictures. And one of my friends from Minneapolis, her name was Trista, she showed up there at the game. So I managed to snag a picture with her. And I just thought I'd show you some of the pictures I took. Some of the other Vikings fans that were there. I also took pictures with fun Packers fans. I mean, everybody there was really nice. That's all I could say. I know that was a year where Packers weren't even in the playoffs, so it was like no big deal. But I got a kick out of all the fans that were there. I mean, you got Santa with 2 reindeer. I do love Packer fans. I mean, they come up with some interesting stuff, And another Vikings fan. I'm like, hey, it's a Vikings fan. I want to take a picture. There was me and Kristen with Lambeau Field lit up in the background, right there. Another picture of Lambeau. Yeah, and we even have Christians there. Jesus is the reason for the season. And I do believe, I don't know if I caught a picture of that, but there was somebody walking around with a Adrian Peterson jersey calling him the purple Messiah. But yeah, it was freezing cold that night. I did throw like a live video of me being there. I actually found this post too. I wrote, pretty cool. This young man, R.J. Shelton, is a 2013 graduate from Beaver Dam High School in Wisconsin, which is about 12 miles from where I had been living. And he made the 53-man roster as a Minnesota Viking undrafted rookie. Wonder what that will be like for him to play against the team he grew up loving and seeing the quarterback he idolized. Go Vikings. So, Yeah. He joins cornerback Trey Waynes as the only Wisconsin natives on the Viking roster. He's a 4-year letter winner, had 116 catches for 1,471 yards, including a total of 16 TDs in 52 career games. Finished his career among MSU's all-time leaders in kick return yards. So it looks like he went to, Mankato State University, which I think they now call it Minnesota State University. He spent 4 years as a team starting kick returner. Oh, Michigan State. I'm sorry, Michigan State. Majored in advertising. So he was at Michigan State University. And he actually made the team as an undrafted that 1 year. So this was some video I shot when I went to Lambeau.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Now, this was a game where I saw Zach Wilson. So, this was August 21st, 2021. I went to a preseason game where I got to see Zach Wilson. At that time, he was the #1 draft pick for the Jets, and there was a lot of excitement about him. In this preseason game, he threw a touchdown pass. share this with you real quick. We are enjoying our vacay at the Wisconsin Peninsula, and this musical was the cherry on top. It was awesome, hilarious, entertaining. There's even a Vikings fan in the show. A professor is married to one of the daughters, but a dad that has to choose one of his 3 daughters to get his season Packer tickets. I highly recommend it. Yeah, Wisconsin, they even do musicals involving, the Packers. And this one's a great one. If you ever get a chance to, if you're way up north in Wisconsin at the peninsula, there's a place called Peninsula State Park, and they have a theater called the Northern Sky Theater, and this musical is hilarious. It's about a father with 3 daughters, and he's trying to figure out which daughter should get his season tickets after he passes away. And there's some great moments in that musical. One of my favorite parts is they go through the history of the Packers, the triumphs and the downfalls, and it's pretty good. And then they there's a guy who's a closet Vikings fan, and he sings about his despair about living in Green Bay and loving the Vikings, and how the team has broke his heart so many times, and he can't admit to this Wisconsin family that he is a Vikings fan, and it's pretty good musical. I found this. Looking at my old posts, I kind of like this one too. If your dad walks you to school because you are both in the same grade, you might be a Packers fan. So these pictures were taken in 2015. I was at TCF Stadium, and Vikings got humiliated by the Packers that game, and I wound up taking my kids to the game because it was their birthday on that day, and it was so I thought I'd take them to a Vikings-Packers game for their birthday. So there was a Packers fan there, and some pictures I took of the Purple People Eaters. Pretty cool bus. Hope I got a picture of the inside of that bus, because the inside was like lined up as a football field. It was actually kind of cool. Yeah, there it is. Isn't that cool? That was what the inside looked like. I think that's the last picture of that. So, yeah, picture of me there. My Vikings regalia on, my purple. I really like that one. Skull! I enjoyed this one too. I was on the road, and there was a company out there that had a Viking purple truck. It said Skull Nation Badger Brothers Trucking out of Minnesota. I thought that was a pretty cool truck right there. And, this is me trying my attempt at being funny. The company I work for is in Wisconsin, and they have like 4 or 5 Packer trucks, different Packer trucks. And I saw the Lambeau Field truck, and so I was like, sticking my armpit in the Lambeau. I was kind of doing my imitation of Randy Moss, but except I didn't rub my butt on it because it was up too high, so I had to do the armpit treatment. Yeah, here's another thing that I don't know. Girlfriend always says I have an obnoxious sense of humor, but here's me saying, "This statue offends me. Tear it down." It's, Lombardi. So I just, I don't know, thought maybe I'd share some of my thoughts about Aaron Rodgers. Being a Vikings fan that has lived about 2/3 of his life in Wisconsin, I just have always thought Aaron Rodgers is pretty awesome, and you guys, Green Bay, you were really lucky. You had Favre and you had Rodgers. I mean, two great quarterbacks right in a row. I love that. Every time they play the Bears would put out a full page ad or whatever it was, like all the different quarterbacks that they had playing. During that same time period. I don't know if it's like 60 different quarterbacks or something like that. I can't remember. The list is so long. But, class act. Aaron Rodgers is a class act. And, I think it's a good move. I know you Packers fans are going to be really sad to see him go, but it did kind of feel that way, that the Packer front office was ready to move on. And I think some of it was Rodgers brought it on himself. I mean, if you're an organization, you want to have players in the locker room that really want to play for you, and it just kind of seemed like Rodgers was kind of like, well, I'm not sure what I want to do, and as an organization, that's got to frustrate the heck out of you. I know, talking to my coworkers who are diehard Packer fans, they aren't all that brokenhearted about it. In fact, they were kind of like, they were kind of relieved that it's over. They don't have to worry about this. Is he coming back? Isn't he coming back? I mean, they had to deal with that when Favre went through what he was doing, and then they had to deal with it with Rodgers, and so they're kind of happy about it. They're I wouldn't say excited or happy, but I think even they know the Packers are not a Super Bowl team. And Rodgers, makes them competitive, but he can't do it by himself. And that team is in rebuilding mode, and they might as well see what they got with Jordan Love, and let Rodgers go and to a team that the Jets are a dang good team, and all they need is a quarterback, and it might be a situation like Tampa Bay where Rodgers, can he's the final piece of the puzzle that they need, and he can bring them that Super Bowl. I actually hope he gets a Super Bowl win with the Jets. I think that'd be pretty awesome. I'd be cheering for him. I cheered for him when he did not play my Vikings. Like I said, I've spent 2/3 of my life living in Wisconsin, so I always cheered for the Packers when they didn't play my Vikings. But my Vikings, I'll cheer for them, first, and that's just the way I am. But I wish Rodgers the best. I hope, I love the way he came on Pat McAfee. That was pretty awesome how it all came out, because this is a YouTube channel, and even my YouTube channel, I'm lucky if I get 30 views, and some of these other bigger channels, you look at the views they got, and maybe they'll get like, 30,000-40,000 views. I think, like, guys like Matt Walsh, who he has like, I don't know, like 1.5 million subscribers. He maybe gets 30, 40, 50,000 views. So I would consider him a big channel, and Pat McAfee had like over 400,000 people were watching that live, almost like 450,000, Now, I couldn't see it live because I was working at the moment, but I turned Pat McAfee on as soon as I could, get, in a situation where I could watch it. I immediately went on my tablet as soon as I was done doing what I had to do, and I had a moment to watch, and I found I wanted to hear what he had to say. I was curious too. I've cheered for him. I've cheered against him. I know that when the Packers did win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, I was cheering for him. I thought that was pretty awesome that he finally got him a Super Bowl win, and nobody could say we should have kept Favre. He finally got that monkey off his back. He finally did it, and then he surpassed Favre in a lot of ways. And it was interesting how there were a lot of media people out there, especially like on ESPN, like Skip and Shannon were like screaming, going nuts that Rodgers should make a decision. Rodgers did. I guess he did make a decision. He just waited on announcing the decision, and that's funny. I gotta admit that's classic Rodgers. That's awesome. He likes to control the flow of information, and that's pretty good. Now these sports guys are sitting there with egg on their face because he already made his decision like weeks ago. When he got out of the retreat, he talked to Jets people, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll come play for you guys. You guys want me, and that's how it goes. And one team's begging for you to come play for them, and the other team, is kind of like in rebuilding mode, and they're like, man, we need to, lose some cap space, and we need to rebuild this team, and we got to build this future, and hopefully Jordan is the guy. Jordan and Love is the guy. If he's not, then we got a year or two to figure out who our guy is going to be. But anyways, I don't want to get this video too long, but I thought I'd show you some things, my personal thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. I love the guy. I think he's awesome. I think he's a great quarterback, class act, and awesome competitor. He's just everything you'd want in a quarterback, professional, and leader, and the way he, we're human. We all make mistakes, but for the most part, he's been pretty good. Just a good person, good guy. So wish him all the best, and I hope those Jets people, they get their Super Bowl. Hopefully they don't wind up playing my Vikings, because that would suck, My Vikings make it to the Super Bowl, and then they got to play the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, and then, but the Vikings have always had pretty good luck against Rodgers, I always wondered what it'd be like if Rodgers was a Viking, would he have gotten us a Super Bowl? But my thoughts are he probably would have. We had some teams there way back when that, all we needed was a quarterback. We tried to get Favre, and he got us one game short. But anyways, I'm going to go. I got to get back to work and drive. But everybody, take care. Wisconsin Hugs.